Life unfolds in ways beyond our understanding, shaping us in the fire of experience, molding us through trials we do not choose. Yet in every challenge there is a hidden hand, guiding, refining, and preparing us for something greater than we can see. When God tests your faith, He is not punishing you, He is awakening you. He is calling you to rise above the illusions of the world, to see beyond your temporary struggle, and to claim the power He has placed within you. There are moments when the path seems uncertain, when doors close and when prayers appear unanswered. Doubt creeps in, whispering that you are alone, abandoned. But God does not leave those whom He calls. He strengthens them. He removes the distractions, the unnecessary attachments, the false beliefs that keep them bound. What feels like loss is in truth a clearing of the old to make way for the new. Faith is not merely believing in what is seen, it is standing firm when everything seems to be against you. It is holding on to the vision God has placed in your heart, even when the world says it is impossible. When Abraham was called to sacrifice his son, it was not a test of loss but of trust. And in that trust, God provided. When Joseph was betrayed, sold into slavery, and imprisoned, it was not the end, but the necessary journey to a greater destiny. Every test was a preparation for his elevation. What if, in this very moment, what appears as difficulty is your greatest invitation to transformation? What if the pain is pushing you toward the breakthrough you have been asking for? God does not test the weak. He refines the strong. He stretches you beyond your comfort so that you may become the vessel capable of holding the blessings He has prepared. The question is not whether the test will come, but how you will respond. Will you collapse under the weight of the challenge, or will you stand firm, knowing that beyond this storm, a new reality awaits? The kingdom of God is within you, and in every trial you are being called to claim it. Do not waver. Do not allow the shadows of doubt to steal your divine inheritance. You are not being broken, you are being built. You are not being forgotten, you are being prepared. Every setback, every disappointment, every unanswered prayer is shaping you for something beyond what you can now comprehend. Trust that when the time is right, the doors will open and you will step into a reality greater than you ever imagined. Of all the mysteries of life, the greatest is this: what you now endure is shaping you for what you have asked for. It may not seem so in the moment, it may feel like the very opposite of what you desire, but consider for a moment that what you call struggle is, in truth, a preparation, a refining, a divine orchestration moving you toward something far beyond what you presently perceive. The mind, bound by appearances, sees loss, delay, and hardship as punishment. It questions, why me? Why must I endure this? But the Spirit knows otherwise. It recognizes that every test of faith is an invitation to transformation. You cannot step into something greater while clinging to what is lesser. You cannot receive the fullness of what God has for you if you are unwilling to release the limitations that confine you. There is a story unfolding in your life, one written before time itself. And in this story, every challenge is not a stop but a step. Every trial not a dead end but a doorway. You are being called to walk by faith, not by sight. The world tells you to trust what is visible, but God calls you to trust what is unseen. He whispers, look beyond the illusion, see with the eyes of faith. Think of the caterpillar confined in the darkness of the cocoon. It knows nothing of the wings it is about to receive. It only knows the struggle, the breaking, the discomfort. And yet, in that very breaking, it is being made new. It does not fight the process, it surrenders to it. It allows itself to be transformed, trusting in what it does not yet understand. And then, in perfect timing, it emerges, not as it once was, but as something entirely new. So it is with you. What feels like a breaking is a becoming. What feels like an ending is a new beginning. God is stretching you, molding you, refining you, not to harm you, but to prepare you. You are being made ready for something greater, something beyond your current imagination, and yet so many resist. They cling to the familiar, fearing what lies ahead. They pray for a new life but resist the very process that brings it forth. What if you stopped resisting? What if, instead of seeing the trial as a curse, you saw it as a calling? What if you understood that the delay is not denial but divine alignment? Every great purpose requires preparation. No seed bears fruit the moment it is planted. There is a season of growth, a time of unseen development beneath the surface. And so it is with you. Think of David, anointed as king, yet sent back to tend the sheep. Did he question why he was not immediately placed on the throne? Did he resist the process? No. He trusted, he prepared. He grew in the quiet places, in the fields where no one was watching. And when the time came, he was ready, not because the opportunity suddenly appeared, but because he had been shaped for it in the waiting. You too are in the fields. You too are being prepared. What you do in this season will determine how you step into the next. Will you grow in faith, or will you allow doubt to take root? Will you trust the process, or will you resist what is necessary for your elevation? God does not waste seasons. Every trial, every setback, every unanswered prayer is part of the divine plan. You may not understand it now, but one day you will look back and see how every moment was leading you to something greater. The pain was not wasted. The delay was not a mistake. The rejection was not a failure. It was all preparation. There is a version of you that already exists, the version that has stepped into the promise, the blessing, the fulfillment of what you have prayed for. But to become that person, you must first shed what no longer serves you. You cannot take old habits into a new season. You cannot carry doubt into a place of faith. You must be transformed. And transformation is never comfortable. It requires surrender, it demands trust, it calls for faith that goes beyond what you can see. When the storm rages, faith says, "This too shall pass." When doors close, faith says, "Something greater is coming." When all seems lost, faith says, "God is still in control." You were never meant to remain where you are. You were created for more, but more requires growth. It requires testing. It requires walking through the fire and coming out refined. Look at the great figures of faith. None of them stepped into their calling without first being tested. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading a nation. Joseph endured betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment before ruling in Egypt. Job lost everything before receiving double for his trouble. What you see as a delay is in fact divine development. What you see as a struggle is the strengthening of your spirit. God is not punishing you, He is preparing you. He is molding you into someone who can carry the weight of the blessing that is coming. If you received it now, unprepared, it would crush you. But in due time, when the work is complete, when your faith is unshaken, you will step into what has been prepared for you since the beginning. Do not let temporary trials steal your eternal promise. Do not let the lies of the enemy convince you that God has forgotten you. He has not. He is working even now in the unseen, in the quiet places where faith is forged. What you believe in this season will determine what you step into in the next. Will you trust the process? Will you stand firm in faith? Will you surrender to the work being done within you? If you knew what was coming, you would not doubt. If you could see what God has prepared, you would not fear. You would stand in confidence, knowing that every test is simply proof that you are being positioned for something greater. The pain is temporary, the struggle is momentary, but the promise is eternal. Hold on, trust, believe. You are being prepared for something far greater than you could ever imagine. As you walk through the journey of life, there are moments when it feels like the weight of the world is pressing against you, when every step feels heavier than the last, and when the promises you've believed in seem distant and unreachable. But I want you to understand this truth. It is in these very moments, in the depths of the struggle, that the greatest transformation is taking place. The world may not see it, but within you there is a deep work occurring, preparing you for the magnitude of what God has planned for your future. When you find yourself standing in the fire, feeling like you cannot endure any longer, remember that the fire is not there to consume you, it is there to purify you. Gold does not shine with its full brilliance until it has been through the furnace, purified by heat and refined by pressure. The pressure you feel today is not a sign that you are being broken. It is a sign that you are being made stronger, more resilient, and more capable of carrying the weight of your dreams. Think of a seed buried deep within the soil. It cannot see the sunlight, it cannot breathe the fresh air, and it cannot feel the warmth that is promised. But in the darkness of the earth, something miraculous is happening. It is growing, it is preparing itself to break through the surface and reach for the light. It does not yet know the greatness it will become, but it trusts the process. It trusts the unseen hand that is guiding its every move. Just as the seed undergoes a silent transformation, so too are you being transformed in the unseen. What seems like a season of hardship is in truth a season of growth. When your faith is tested, God is not simply watching from a distance, waiting to see if you will falter. He is actively working within you, refining you, shaping you into someone who can carry the weight of the dreams He has placed in your heart. These dreams are not small, they are not fleeting, they are big, they are eternal, and they are worth the struggle. But you cannot carry such dreams in your current state. There is a preparation that must happen, there is a breaking that must occur. And yet in the breaking you will find your strength. The storms you are weathering are not to destroy you, but to fortify you. They are molding your character, teaching you endurance, patience, and the kind of trust that can only be developed in the wilderness. The trials you face today are teaching you to stand firm, not in your own strength, but in the strength of the one who is carrying you through. He does not test you to harm you, He tests you to equip you for what lies ahead. You may not understand the process, and you may even question the timing, but trust that God's timing is perfect. There are moments when it feels like God is silent, when your prayers seem to fall on deaf ears, when it seems as though He has forgotten you. But that silence is not abandonment, it is a sacred moment of preparation. In the quiet, God is working on your behalf, arranging circumstances, opening doors, and preparing your heart. Just as the seed must remain in the soil in order to grow, so must you remain steadfast in faith, trusting that the unseen work is happening even when you cannot see it. When you encounter obstacles, do not see them as barriers, see them as stepping stones. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow stronger, to build your faith, and to draw closer to the one who is guiding you. You are not meant to remain where you are meant for greater things. And every test you face is moving you closer to that greater purpose. Think of the great leaders, the great men and women of faith throughout history. They did not achieve greatness without first enduring hardship. Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, but before he could do that, he spent years in the desert, learning humility, patience, and trust in God's provision. David was anointed king, but before he took the throne, he was a shepherd, alone in the fields, learning the lessons that would make him a great king. Joseph was given dreams of greatness, but before he could see them fulfilled, he was sold into slavery, thrown into prison, and betrayed by those closest to him. Each of these individuals faced trials, and each of them was refined in the fire of their circumstances. They emerged stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the purpose that awaited them. You are no different. The struggles you are facing today are preparing you for the greatness that God has in store for you. You may not see it now, but everything you are going through is a necessary part of the process. The pain you feel is not punishment. It is a preparation. The waiting you are enduring is not wasted time. It is a time of refinement. Every tear you shed, every moment of frustration, every time you feel as though you cannot go on, it is all part of the divine plan, shaping you, preparing you, and positioning you for something far greater than you can imagine. When you feel like giving up, when you feel like your faith is wavering, remember that you are in the midst of something bigger. You are not just enduring, you are being prepared. The dream God has placed in your heart is not just for today, but for the future. And the future requires a different you. It requires a version of you who is strong, steadfast, and fully capable of handling the blessings that are coming your way. Every great dream requires sacrifice. Every vision requires preparation. Every promise requires a season of testing. But these tests are not meant to break you, they are meant to build you. They are meant to shape you into the person who can handle the fullness of God's blessing. You are being prepared to step into a future that is far greater than your current reality. There will be moments when you question everything. You will wonder if the dreams you hold in your heart will ever come to pass. You will wonder if the pain and the waiting are worth it. But remember, the process is as important as the promise. The trials you face today are forming you into the person you must become in order to fulfill your purpose. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust that God is preparing you for something beyond what you can see right now. You are not alone in this. God is with you every step of the way, even when you cannot feel His presence. His hand is guiding you, His love is surrounding you, and His purpose is unfolding in your life. The trials you face are not evidence of God's absence, they are evidence of His faithfulness. He is with you in the struggle, He is with you in the silence, and He is with you in the waiting. And when the time is right, He will bring you into the fullness of what He has prepared for you. Do not fear the tests that come your way. They are not here to destroy you, they are here to build you. Do not fear the waiting, it is the time of preparation. The greater the test, the greater the blessing. You are being shaped, molded, and refined for something bigger than you can even comprehend. Hold on to your faith, stand firm in your belief, trust the process. The best is yet to come. There will be times when you feel completely overwhelmed by the weight of your circumstances, when the dreams you hold so dear seem impossibly distant, and when doubt begins to creep into your mind. You may feel as though you're stuck, as though no matter what you do, the path ahead remains unclear. But even in these moments of confusion, understand that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of your life with divine precision. He sees the bigger picture, and though you cannot yet see it, He is preparing you for something far greater than you could ever imagine. Faith is not simply believing when things are going well. Anyone can do that. True faith is standing firm when everything around you seems to be falling apart. It is trusting in the unseen, knowing that God is at work even when the evidence isn't immediately visible. Your faith is being tested not to break you, but to strengthen you. The challenges and obstacles you face are the proving grounds for your faith, and each trial is an opportunity for you to deepen your trust in God, ability to bring you through, no matter how impossible the circumstances may seem. Consider the process of growing a tree. The seed is planted deep in the earth, hidden from the world. It is buried in darkness, subjected to pressure, and forced to push its way through the soil. The seed doesn't know exactly when it will break through the surface, but it trusts the process. It knows that in time the sunlight will touch it, and it will grow tall, strong, and fruitful. You too are like that seed. Even though you cannot see the results yet, even though the process feels slow and painful, God is working in the hidden places, preparing you to burst forth into the fullness of His purpose for your life. In these moments of pressure, it's easy to become discouraged. You may wonder why God is allowing you to experience such hardship, but it's important to recognize that the struggle is not the end of the story. It is merely a part of the journey. The storm will pass, and you will emerge stronger, more refined, and more capable of carrying the dreams and responsibilities that God has entrusted to you. Every challenge you face is shaping you into the person you are destined to become. The process of testing, though difficult, is a necessary part of your growth. Without it, you would not be prepared for what lies ahead. When you face a test, it's easy to want to rush through it, to find a way out or to escape the discomfort. But understand this: God is not interested in giving you an easy way out. He is interested in your transformation. The obstacles you face are not punishments, but opportunities for growth. They are opportunities for you to trust Him more deeply, to lean on His strength, and to discover just how much you are capable of when you surrender fully to His will. The greater the test, the greater the strength you will gain. There is a divine purpose behind everything that happens in your life, even the trials. God does not waste a single moment of your journey. Every hardship, every challenge, and every moment of waiting is part of His perfect plan for your life. When God tests your faith, He is refining you, purifying you, and preparing you for something far greater than you can currently understand. It's in these moments of testing that you discover the depths of your own strength, your own perseverance, and your own capacity for faith. But the testing of your faith is not just for you, it is also for the people around you. Your testimony, your ability to stand firm in the face of adversity will serve as a powerful example to others. When they see you endure through hardship with grace and unwavering trust in God, they will be inspired. Your journey will become a living testimony to the power of God's faithfulness, and it will encourage others to hold on to their faith, even when their own trials seem insurmountable. The faith you build in the fire will not only prepare you for your own breakthrough, but will also inspire a generation to trust in God's timing and His provision. In the midst of the tests and trials, it's important to keep your eyes on the promise, not the problem. When you focus on the problem, it becomes magnified and your faith begins to shrink. But when you focus on the promise, when you set your heart on the truth that God is for you and not against you, your faith grows. The promises of God are yes and amen, and they will not fail. His word is true, and He will bring to pass everything He has spoken over your life. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, even when the journey seems long and difficult, trust that He is working in ways that you cannot see. His timing is perfect, and His plans for you are far greater than your own. The testing of your faith is not just about what you are going through now, but about what is coming next. God is preparing you for the next level, for the next season of your life, and for the greater purpose He has ordained for you. There are people waiting for you to step into your destiny, and there are opportunities waiting for you to seize. But before you can walk into those things, you must first be prepared. You must first be refined. You must first be made ready to carry the weight of the blessing that is coming your way. And so when you face the testing of your faith, don't see it as a setback. Don't see it as a sign that God has abandoned you or forgotten you. See it as an invitation to grow, to become more of the person you were always meant to be. The testing is not the end of the story. It is a pivotal moment in your journey, one that will propel you forward into the fullness of God's plan for your life. Every test you face is a step toward your breakthrough. Every trial is a lesson in trust, in perseverance, and in surrender. And as you grow through these tests, you will find that your faith becomes unshakable, your confidence in God becomes unmovable, and your ability to stand firm in His promises becomes unyielding. When God tests your faith, He is preparing you to take hold of the future He has promised you. Trust the process, trust His timing, and trust that He is preparing you for something far greater than you can even imagine. God has not forgotten you. He sees your pain, your struggle, and your heart's deepest desires. He is not blind to your tears, nor is He deaf to your cries. He hears you, and He is moving on your behalf. The testing of your faith is not a sign that you are far from His love. It is a sign that He is preparing you for something beautiful. Trust in the process, hold fast to your faith, and know that God is making you ready for the greatness that is to come. The best is yet to be revealed. Every trial, every difficulty, and every obstacle you face serves a divine purpose. You are not being tested to break you, but to build you. Each test is a step closer to the destiny God has placed before you. And though the path may feel uncertain and the road may seem long, trust that every single experience is preparing you for what lies ahead. There's a certain divine wisdom in the way God works, a divine logic that doesn't always align with our human understanding. In the natural world, we often equate pain with punishment, struggle with failure, and hardship with something we need to avoid at all costs. But in God's kingdom, it's different. The way He operates is counterintuitive. The very things we try to avoid are often the tools He uses to refine us. The pressure you feel, the difficulty you face, and the discomfort in your soul are all shaping you. They are removing the parts of you that cannot carry the weight of what is coming. The fire doesn't destroy the gold, it purifies it. The struggle doesn't crush your spirit, it strengthens it. What you might perceive as a setback is actually a setup for what's to come. When God tests your faith, He is stretching you, pulling you into a place of growth that you wouldn't reach without the challenges. Think of it as a muscle. If you want your muscles to grow stronger, you must first strain them. You must challenge them, push them beyond their normal limits, and only then do they grow. Similarly, your faith must be stretched. It must be tested, and it's in the stretching, in the breaking, that you are made whole. But remember, the stretching is temporary. The breakthrough, the growth, the transformation, these are permanent. Each test, no matter how daunting, is simply an opportunity to step into a higher level of faith, a deeper trust in God's plans for your life. You cannot see it now, but when you are on the other side of this test, you will look back and realize that everything you went through was necessary to bring you to the place where you are meant to be. It's important to remember that the trials you face are not a reflection of God's disfavor. They are a part of His plan to bring you closer to the fullness of His purpose for your life. You may not feel it now, but you are being shaped and molded in the fire of life. Your faith is being refined, made pure, and prepared to withstand the greatness that is about to unfold. When you find yourself in the midst of a storm, don't lose heart. Know that the storm is not there to destroy you, it is there to help you grow. The winds may be howling, the rain may be pouring down, and you may feel as though you're sinking beneath the waves, but in reality, the storm is part of your transformation. It's helping you learn to stand firm, to trust in the God who controls the wind and the waves, and to find peace in the midst of chaos. You are not walking this journey alone. Though the road may seem long and the way unclear, God is with you every step of the way. He has not left you to face these trials on your own. He is the one who is holding your hand, guiding your steps, and leading you through every difficulty. When you feel weak, He will be your strength. When you feel lost, He will be your compass. When you feel weary, He will be your rest. Trust that God's presence is with you, even in the hardest of moments. In fact, it's often in the darkest moments of our lives that God's presence becomes the most real. When everything else seems uncertain, when we've tried all we can and still see no way forward, that's when God steps in. That's when He shows us that He has been with us all along, that He's been preparing us, strengthening us, and equipping us for the very moment we find ourselves in. And when the breakthrough finally comes, when you step into the fullness of your purpose, you look back and see how every test, every challenge, and every difficulty was part of God's perfect plan. You see, the testing of your faith is not just about you, it's about the impact you will have on others. Your journey, your perseverance, and your eventual victory will serve as a testimony to those around you. It will show them that God is faithful, that His promises are true, and that no matter how dark the night may seem, joy comes in the morning. You are being shaped not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of others. Your faith is a light that will shine brightly for others to see. Your victory will be a beacon of hope to those who are walking through their own struggles. And when you stand firm in your faith, when you trust God through the hard times, you will find that your faith becomes unshakable. You will develop a resilience that nothing can break. No matter how many storms come, no matter how many obstacles rise up, you will know that you are standing on a firm foundation. Your faith will be like a tree planted by the water, unmoved by the winds and the storms of life. The tests may be hard, but the reward is worth it. The struggle may be long, but the victory is sweeter. And when you finally see the manifestation of all that God has promised you, you will understand why the test was necessary. You will see that every step, every struggle, every moment of doubt was a part of God's greater plan for your life. It's important to remember that God is always with you, even when it feels like He's silent. He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating everything in your favor. And even when the way seems unclear, know that He has a purpose for everything. Trust in His plan. Trust in His timing. Trust that He is working all things together for your good. The greater the test, the greater the blessing, the greater the trial, the greater the breakthrough. Every time you rise above the difficulties, every time you stand firm in your faith, you are becoming more and more aligned with God's divine purpose for your life. You are being prepared for something bigger, something greater than you could ever imagine. And when the time comes, when the door opens and when the promise is fulfilled, you will look back and see how perfectly everything fits together. God does not waste a single moment of your life. Every hardship, every trial, every test is an opportunity for you to grow, to become more like Him, and to step into the greatness that He has in store for you. Your faith is being tested now, not because God wants to see you fail, but because He is preparing you for the success, the victory, and the breakthrough that is ahead. So hold on and don't let go. Trust in the process. Know that every test is making you stronger, making you more prepared, and making you more equipped to handle the blessings that are coming your way. You are being prepared for something bigger, something greater, something beyond your wildest dreams. And when you look back, you will realize that every step, every struggle, every moment of faith was worth it. As you stand in the midst of your journey, remember that every trial, every test, and every challenge is not a sign of defeat, but a divine preparation for the greatness ahead. Trust that God is molding you, shaping you, and strengthening you for something far beyond what you can see. His ways are not always clear in the moment, but His plan is always perfect, and His love for you is unwavering. Embrace the tests that come your way, knowing that they are stepping stones to the fulfillment of your purpose. Be patient in the process, knowing that every moment is leading you closer to the manifestation of your divine destiny. And when you finally reach the place He has prepared for you, you will look back in awe and gratitude for the challenges that made you who you are. Keep your faith strong, trust in God's timing, and never forget that He is preparing you for something bigger, something greater. You are being shaped for the extraordinary, and the best is yet to come. Stay faithful, stay strong, and know that God is with you every step of the way.